Kraven the Hunter.
Kraven the Hunter. We watched this just the other day. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it. As
Wow, she's gone.
Yeah, I probably just went straight in.
Wow.
Yeah, I think when you come on to like superhero movies, we're such big fans of superhero movies, and I think I always say this: if you're going to come with a superhero movie, you need to come good. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no giving you, oh, I'll give you a little go because no, it's either it's good or it's not good. And for us, I'll speak for myself. For me, it's it's not it. It's not it. And we look at three, or maybe let's say two, at least two main things: the acting and the plot. And if you're talking about the plot, I don't know. How do you feel about the plot? What do you think? Was it delivered?
Alright, so background. Kraven is from the Spider-Man universe, which is also quote-unquote Marvel, but for whatever reason, I don't know if Marvel doesn't own the rights to Kraven, the character or whatever. It's not in the Marvel universe, so there's only one clear reference to spiders or whatever in it, which I did highlight to you that's basically playing on the fact that Spider-Man is supposed to be an enemy or whatever. But so I have a love for all of these characters that they're trying to bring to life. So I already am partially biased, and I think a lot of the comic fans or the cartoon fans growing up will sort of feel the way I do, which is we have that little, bias regardless. We'll feel the love for it.
But do you think the plot, based on what the plot is about, do you think it was a good plot? Do you think they delivered on plot?
Before I go into that again, so by the way, this has a 16% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is terrible if you know our ratings.
It wasn't good. It was not good, and I don't know what you're trying to go around to say. It was not good.
For me, I liked it. I didn't have a problem with it. That's what I'm trying to get to.
No.
If you are a fan, you will still like it.
No.
There are definitely good things, like you saw how strength came. I mean, it wasn't unbelievable, so I like that. I like the things that happened wasn't unbelievable for a superhero.
What wasn't unbelievable?
Like how everything played out. Like, I don't want to give anything away because
but without giving anything away, I'll say it was not a good movie. It was not. To see superhero movies, you see like some of the things that can be done. If you're doing, I just don't think having a plot for superhero movies is that hard these days. Like, I don't think.
Apparently it is.
Yeah, I don't think it these days it's not hard. And especially when I think you have a fan base or people who really love superhero movies so much. I think you can literally make a mistake when it comes on to certain superhero movie and it actually sells. Even though it probably wasn't meant, or it's something dark, it's something outside of what's considered to be the norm. Because there's just, it's like your imagination in a sense, like literally, and no, regardless of how dark or how stupid it can seem, it could just be that one thing that's a hit and makes it a hit. I don't get it. I just think this one was so bad, for me at least. I don't know why he's usually so hard to please, and I just don't understand.
I've already explained my bias. So,
regardless of the bias, you can still.
So she didn't like the plot,
objective.
Right? She didn't like the plot, but I guarantee you she doesn't have anything specifically bad about the plot, right? And probably those people that gave it a 16% don't have either. Like,
but it just wasn't.
What else were they supposed to do, right? I think the story works for what you're trying to tell. So I personally.
Well, maybe it could just be that the story wasn't told. Really, whatever the story is, there was no. I just think they gave an idea of what the story should be. I just don't think it was portrayed. A lot of the things was mentioned. So the storyline or the plot, it was like there's a lot that was just mentioned and skipped over where it's like it was too much was placed on the viewers, I think, to fill in certain gaps. I didn't like that because I feel like
I got all the gaps. I feel the all the like
I guess we just have to agree.
There is only
like,
one moment, and I think we can say this, where one of the characters says somebody for them died, so they didn't.
And you haven't spoken to them in a long time.
So they haven't spoken. Yeah, what was it like? So
her grandma died.
So shortly after that, she died. And I never saw her again. And I'm like, obviously you didn't see her again if she died. Like,
it was just strange. But fine, let's agree to disagree.
So what would you give the plot?
I don't know. 3.
3 out of 10?
3 out of 10. Like, it wasn't...
Wow.
I don't know what it was. What was it really?
I mean, if I'm being honest, it's kind of nothing new. So I'm going to fast forward and just give it a 6. And that includes my bias to these type of movies.
Oh my God.
Bias included 6. So I give it a pass.
Fine.
Pass. So you know what that means? You just have to watch it for yourself and tell us what you think.
Tell us what you think.
But yeah.
Acting. What do you think about the acting?
Acting. Kraven shot. There is not much better he could have done. The guy went and bulked up and all of that, and he looked like a superhero. He did his thing.
Yeah.
He didn't rely on his, as you would say, his pretty boy looks or whatever. He actually acted like he was good. He was as good as can be.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. The main actor, so Kraven, was really good.
Yeah.
He really played the role, I think, and it took the role.
Yeah. Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah. For me, he probably wasn't my favorite actor in the movie. His little brother, what's his little brother called?
I mean, eventually, I don't want to tell people what he's eventually called in the end.
Yeah, but
just say Dimitri. Yeah, Dimitri.
Yeah. I liked him.
They're Russian. Yeah.
I think when you're giving a role, from out the gate, is like you're being the shadow in a sense, because you know what, the movie in and of itself, like how it's written, he's not really supposed to be the dominating actor or character in the movie. I just think that he's, that little subtle or foolish brother, not really, doesn't have the strength, doesn't have all of that. He's like always in the background. I think he really played that role well for me.
I was a bit disappointed in Dimitri's character development.
Yes.
Because I thought that he would have gone down a different path than the one that he did in the absence of, or in the absence of a crucial person to him for a long period of time. I would have expected him to be a lot darker. He wasn't.
But to be honest, so he did eventually, I think, go down that path. I just don't think maybe why kind of lined up well. Yeah, I think it was just thrown in at the end, and that's what I meant when I said the plot was somewhat all over the place, because the story.
I'll agree with you there.
Yeah, the story was all over the place, because if he was going to go down that dark path, why not earlier? Yeah. And the reason why, if I'm just thinking, it's based on the storyline. For somebody to die that you didn't care about that much.
Don't give
I won't. I'm just saying, for somebody to die that you didn't, or you shouldn't care about that much, that shouldn't be the determining factor. So it should have definitely been earlier for somebody that had so much of an impact that you loved and care about so much, abandoning you. So yeah, for me, the acting somewhat ties back into the storyline, but outside of that, I just think he was my favorite character, because I think he did dominate his role, and most of the laughs that we had was from him. I'll say, definitely. And I think being somebody that your character overall from day one was supposed to be in the shadow, I think it speaks volume for his acting, so that he can actually be remembered.
It wasn't really that standout for me. But I will say that we did appreciate the rhino and the design of the rhino.
Yes.
The rhino was well done.
We did talk about
it
that.
Wasn't over the top. It wasn't like, this huge, like the Hulk or whatever. It was believable, like the way his his look was. So the rhino was
I really loved the portrayal of the rhino.
Yeah.
It was really,
even his character development. Made sense.
his character was really good, and that's one of the things we spoke about when we were watching it as well too, where I think that's where they lost a bit of it, the plot, or where they could have actually made a bigger impact, because they spent majority of the movie hiding or withholding the rhino. But for me, I think when he actually changed into the rhino,
don't give away too much.
It was the very best part of the movie, and I'm like, I wish they had actually made this happen a bit earlier.
So really quick, and also say that the cinematography was really good. Good visuals, good graphics, good everything, and the action scenes were really well done.
Some of them.
For me at least, my opinion.
It wasn't the best movie. Good. I'll say that. It wasn't the best overall. The acting wasn't bad from the main characters. So it's still worth watching, but just don't go in there expecting much. That's what I'll say. Just don't go expecting much. I would say that.
All right, well,
but
you know
go
what
watch
to do.
it. Let us know. If you've watched it already, tell us what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with Jay? But yeah.